Greetings YouTube, Thurs here, welcome back to another World of Warcraft Legion video, and today we're going to be looking at the new level scaling feature. And what I've got up at the moment is actually the live edition of World of Warcraft, patch 7.3.2, where the level scaling isn't in effect, and then we're going to compare that to some of the new changes that are going to be appearing in the upcoming patch 7.3.5, which I'm currently running over here. So I'm actually running 2 editions of WoW at the moment, no thank you, which means that some of this recording might end up being a little bit jerky, but hopefully we'll get on okay. And going back to the live WoW here for a moment, the first thing that I noticed is that the experience curve has completely changed. So here on my level 31 character on the live servers, you need 50,900 experience to level to 32. And over on the PTR, my level 32 character, so it is 1 level out, but look at this, bang, you need 85,600, so a big massive amount extra in experience. Now, how that's going to affect the actual leveling curve, is it going to be slower to level? Is it going to be about the same to level as it currently is on live servers? I don't yet know. Maybe as we go forward we can test some of these numbers out and see if the overall effect of how leveling is going to remain about the same time, you know, to get from one level to the next, or if indeed things have been slowed down just a touch. Now, the next change I want to point out to you is in terms of itemization, and I'm not sure if this is a nerf to heirlooms or if it's something that's changing across the board with how all items are going to work. But here on the live realms, the Tarnished Raging Berserker's Helm, and I'm just using an heirloom as an example so that I can compare it, has 9 agility, 14 stamina, and 13 haste. And that's on a level 31 character. So 9 agi, 14 stam, 13 haste. But on the PTR, on a character that's 1 level higher, the same item only has 8 agility. It's showing intellect, but it's agility as well. 8 agility, 12 stamina, and 11 haste. So on a higher level character, the stats are actually lower. Now, as I say, I'm not sure whether this is a nerf to heirlooms or whether re-itemization has been taken place here by Blizzard and we're going to be seeing changes to stats across the board. We know there's a stat squish coming in Battle for Azeroth, but maybe this is like the starting changes of that or something, I'm not sure. But I thought I'd point that out to you anyway. Right, so here we are in Westfall. Okay, so going back to the live server again, where there's obviously no level scaling at the moment in 7.3.2, we can see that Westfall is a level 10 to 15 zone. And it's a wonderful zone, Westfall, since it's been revamped in Cataclysm, one of my favourite questing zones. But it's only a 5 level zone, and that early on, obviously you out-level it at this point in the game very, very quickly. And then you're forced to move on to Red Ridge Mountains, also a brilliant questing zone, but again only for 5 levels. Now we have level scaling, so over here on the PTR, 7.3.5, Westfall's a level 10 to 60 zone. So you can still come here at level 10, but you can stay here as long as you want, completing all the quests, and you're not going to out-level the zone before moving on to Red Ridge. There it is, which is now a 15 to 60 zone as opposed to a 15 to 20 zone. And that's pretty much what we're going to expect right across the board here. A lot of these zones, and this is an introduction so I'm not going to show you all of them, in Classic WoW are going to scale to 60, and they'll start scaling from the level that you was originally intended to visit them from. So Swamp of Sorrows was originally a 40 to 45 zone, it's now a 40 to 60 zone. Blasted Lands, I don't think that's really changed. No, Blasted Lands was a 55 to 60 zone. Let me just check that, in which case what I just said was wrong, and some zones have been reduced in level. Yeah, it was, look. So on the live servers, Blasted Lands was 54 to 60, on the PTR it's now 40 to 60. So quite a change there. Now, and I'm back on the PTR again here, the starting zones haven't changed. So they're still levels 1 to 10, and that applies to pretty much all of the starting zones, at least the ones I've looked at over here on Eastern Kingdoms. Okay, so they haven't changed. Right, so I'm back on the live servers again. Hopefully this isn't getting too confusing. So if we go to Outland next, because this level scaling does apply all the way up to level 100. And Outland has now been scaled to level 80. So this is the live servers. So the zones are, as you can see them currently, going up to level 70 maximum. And the same is true for the Wrath of the Lich King zones. That's also been scaled from 60 to 80. But we'll have a look at that in a moment. What I have noticed is that on the PTR, yes, they're scaling, okay, 58 to 80 for Hellfire Peninsula, but one thing I'm a little bit disappointed in is that the other zones start from the levels you was originally intended to go to them from. So yes, they scale to 80, but if you come to Outland at level 60, or level 58 as you would before, then you're still going to be going through Outland in the same zone order that you did before. The only difference, of course, now being that you're going to be able to visit all of the zones rather than just 3 or 4 of them. But I would have liked it if all of the zones here scaled from 58 to 80, so that you could pick and do them in whatever order you so chose. But that's evidently not going to be the case, but still a very nice welcome change. Let's have a look at the Northland Zones as well. Right, live servers once more. So you've got your original Howling Fjord and Borean Tundras at 68 to 72, and then you progress on from there up to Storm Peaks and Ice Crown. So now you get to choose which continent you want to go to on the PTR. So you can either go to Outland, as we've looked at, from level 60 or 58, or you can now go to Northland. So Howling Fjord and Borean Tundra both scale from level 58 to 80, so the same as Hellfire Peninsula, and then you progress onwards from there, with Storm Peaks and Ice Crown both scaling from before level 70. So before, these would be level 77 zones and upwards, 77 to 80, they're now 67 to 80. So the plan is, you pick your continent at level 60, either Outland or Northland, and I'm guessing the idea is you could stay in either of those continents all the way for, until level 80, so a good 20 levels. Or you can pick and choose. If you get bored 10 levels in, you can go from Northland to Outland, or vice versa. The whole point of this, of course, is that it's about choice. And once you hit level 67, by the looks of it, then everything opens up in both continents. From 67 to 80, all of the zones become available in both Outland and Northland for you to level in. And the same is true for Cataclysm and Mr. Pandaria. So Cataclysm was originally levels 80 to 85, and Mr. Pandaria was levels 85 through to 90. Both expansion packs have both been re-leveled to levels 80 through to 90, so 10 levels. So for example, Mount Hyjal, which was originally an 80 to 82 zone or something along those lines, is now 80 to 90. And the same is true for the other Cataclysm zones. Vashir, the other starting zone, also now scales from 80 to 90. Twilight Highlands was the last Cataclysm zone, a level 84 to 85 levelling zone, now goes from 84 to 90. And the same is true for Pandaria. Originally Pandaria was 84 to 90, it now starts at level 80. So a lot of numbers for you there, guys, but I know a lot of you will really want to delve into that and see what these new level zones are going to be, so that you can start making your plans for when the patch actually hits. So there we have Cataclysm and Pandaria. And finally we have Warlords of Draenor. Now this was actually not really spoken of before, so I think people were unsure about how this exactly scaled, but it does actually scale from level 90 to 100. So for example, Shadowmoon Valley, which if I just go onto the live realm here, was a 90 to 93 zone, and then Tanan Jungle was your level 100 zone. But Nagrand was probably your last leveling zone at 98 to 100. Back on PTR, we have Shadowmoon Valley now at 90 to 100, and Nagrand still at 98 to 100, that hasn't changed. But obviously you can stay in each zone, which is the whole point of this change. So Frostfire Ridge for your hordes. If you get to level 92, 93, you haven't got to rush out into Gorgrond. You can stay where you are and finish off the zone. So there's the actual zone changes. Maybe now we can actually have a go at doing a quest and see how we get on here in Westfall. Normally a level 10 to 15 zone, but I'm level 32. And the starting quest here, which is scaled of course to our level, will give us 5,600 experience and an item level 32 waste. So it looks like the item level scales basically to the player level while you're leveling. And I'll see how that goes on as we head into some of the later expansions.
Go with honor, friend.
Okay, so just had to speak to those people there. Same quest as always. Okay, so the next set of quests, still giving us 5,600 XP. Seems a little bit low actually, seeing as how we need 85,000. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm interested to see exactly how this curve is going to play out now. I've got the feeling that Blizzard have made it a little bit longer again to level up in terms of the time it takes. Probably thinking that they can sell more of their level boosts if people do get a bit cheesed off with that. But hey, I don't mind leveling, to be honest, so it's not really something that's going to bother me if it does take a bit longer. And of course, you've still got heirlooms and whatnot if, you know, you do want things to go a little bit on the faster side. One change I would actually like to see is the ability to have the experience bonus from heirlooms while still being able to collect the item sets and wear the item sets that you have throughout the leveling experience, so you can still feel like you're making upgrades. The heirlooms kind of take that fun part of leveling away, I find, but then if you don't wear them, you are missing out on the experience bonus, and especially now with level scaling, the experience bonus is probably a good thing to have, just to speed things up while you're still going through the full zone. So the Murloc has scaled to actually one level below us. So what I'm thinking is that in Legion, you have monsters scaling to your level, but they don't actually scale to your level until you're halfway through your level. And yeah, I haven't played a mage for probably about 4 or 5 years. It's the one class I'm just not particularly fond of. So I've no idea what's on my action bar here or anything. I'm just testing out the waters, so to speak. Okay. So yeah, I think questing's going to get fun again. But anyway, folks, this has really just been an introduction to the level scaling changes. Run away from him. Here in the latest Legion PTR patch. So let me know what you think down in the comment section. And are you going to be leveling a new character once the patch hits? Or are you going to be waiting for the allied races in the next expansion? So just to confirm, I did make a video on this, but the allied races will not be in this expansion. Sorry, in this patch, you know, like the playable versions of them. You will have to wait until the expansion for those. But the leveling changes are going to be in the patch, obviously. That's what we've been looking at. So if this video has been helpful to you guys, don't forget to leave a like. And please be subscribed to the Fuzzfinger Gaming YouTube channel for more in the future. Coming soon. Goodbye.